Hey, what's going on, guys? First of all, I want to apologize because by the time you see this, I will have spam posted a bunch of videos, but this one is a bit delayed in being filmed. My issue is not so much having to film the videos. It's honestly just a lack of strategic planning and a little bit of laziness for me not editing them in a timely manner. But it's my mistake. It's honestly barely any work. Life's just been quite busy lately, and I'm I'm about 15 steps away from being at a point where I'm generating any revenue from this, where it would make sense for me to drop everything to prioritize it. However, right now that is not the case, as you can see by my view count and subscriber count, but that's all right. I'm mainly making videos just to get thoughts out there. I think that's an important thing to at least do to help round out my own intellectual thoughts towards whatever subject it may be. But you know, if viewership does come down the road, that's pretty cool. But like, you hear it from everyone that's successful at making videos. It's like they didn't go into it expecting it to be anything. While I am wishful, I'm not expecting anything from anyone. You know, I can make 3,000 of these and be no closer to having 100 subscribers. But that's all right, because the main thing I want is to get the words out there and maybe review them later. And by later, I mean years down the road. It's kind of nice, you know, rehashing the words of the past, because you get to see how much of it stayed the same and how much of it evolved into another viewpoint. So that I do like. I think by the time I'm like 3,000 videos in, though, I'll be much older, but that is all right, everyone. So prep, not very difficult at all yet. However, I kind of have a greater burning desire under my ass, because I was like, hold up, let me do the math here. Math is not mathing how I'd like it to right now. And I'm like 15 and a half weeks out from this show, opposed to being like 17 weeks out, which is what I thought I'd be around there. It's still plenty of time, but that extra week and a half does matter, because when you're at the very end of the process, you might have minor things that need to get fixed up, but you're mostly there. But the amount of work required for those small changes is very great. So I got to put my foot on the gas now, because I don't want to get left behind. I don't want my body to leave me behind, I should say. Because if you're not conditioned enough, that's a great reflection on your effort level. Now, you may put in exorbitant amounts of effort one day. However, you know, this is kind of a game of how many days in a row can I do that? And obviously, unless you're Branch Warren, no one's going 10 out of 10 hard all the time. But they're keeping themselves in that 8 to 10 range more often, in that 9 to 10 out of 10 intensity range, and they're just going for it every day. And the effort's not just the gym, because when you think about it, as cool as you may feel, it's not that impressive being able to go hard in the gym. Like, you're just lifting weights. So, you know, because you can't bring yourself to unrack the bar every so often and get less and less reps because you're more fatigued and you're fighting the lack of oxygen from the anaerobic stress of weightlifting, whatever it may be like that. At the end of the day, there's no excuses for not consistently putting in a high level of effort. And of course it's hard. It's hard because if it wasn't, then this wouldn't be a thing. Everyone wouldn't be trying to pursue whatever prestige they get out of being an IFBB pro or a high-level national competitor. Not that I'm either of those things. I was not blessed with the greatest pull out of the genetic lottery. Nevertheless, that's never faded my effort level. Is it frustrating? Not anymore. You know, I mean, for years, especially when you're starting out, you can get a little more frustrated than you'd like to. Because let's say you're going to the gym consistently and really beating yourself up for like 2 straight years. Then you see another guy with great genetics going to the gym and they're changing so fast, it's making you go, what the fuck am I doing? Or you're pissed off that someone's getting so much progress so fast. And jealousy is an ugly emotion. But like this kind of shit could happen. It can be discouraging, but I mean, how long have I been doing this? I always love railing off that number. Like, what am I, like 16 years now? So yeah, eventually that does fade because you just have to reach a point of acceptance with yourself. If you don't reach that, you're gonna have so much excess anxiety in your body that you're gonna end up not looking as well as you could have if you just chilled the fuck out. And like, it may or may not necessarily be the cortisol release, because everyone loves talking about that. They're like, oh, cortisol ruined me, I got too stressed. And yeah, kind of does, because cortisol is it's a hormone of breaking down, of catabolism, but it's needed for the anabolism. But it could cause excess water retention, especially under the skin, and that's ideally not what you want when you're doing a bodybuilding show, because you're going to lose all that detail you work so hard to show. But do I think I'm experiencing so high of cortisol levels that like this is a concerning thing to my progress? No, but at one point, definitely. And how do you get over that? Well, I mean, for me, I go to empty gyms, I lift by myself, I lift at night, I don't want to lift around anyone. So that, after you do that for a long period of time, that really peels back some of the bullshit for you. You become less concerned with the accomplishments of others and more determined to get your own shit done. And while the goal is always to get more shit done, you can lose sight of the big picture when you're surrounded by so many people, especially ones that may or may not make you feel insecure about your own shortcomings. So I get that feelings like that could definitely linger on over a long period of time, but it really just comes down to cutting your own bullshit and getting to fucking work. But you got to find the right way to do it. Like I just told you, you know, I'm not in crowded gyms most of the time by myself. I'm usually covered up like with a like oversized 2XL shirt. I mean, I'd like to fit into that better one day, but you're not, like, everything I'm doing is to make sure that it's kind of like a horse that's racing. You know, they put those like special goggles on them so the peripheral vision's blocked out, so all they have to focus is straight ahead. That's kind of what you're doing by rearranging the setting of what you're lifting so that you're able to try more and take the anxiety of the unknown out of it enough to reap more rewards than you otherwise would. It's hard. It takes time, and no one wants it to take time because they want to reach whatever stage of enlightenment they can ASAP, fast as possible. Unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. Believe me, I've tried to will it to my own desire. It does not work that way. The important thing about time is it's teaching you to be more cognizant over the things you can change opposed to whatever's going on around you that you don't have much say in. Or, you know, there may be some kind of consequences you're experiencing to a certain trend or wheel of actions you've taken. And what time does is it helps you accept accountability and then move on and become a better person. We're not a species of people that learn lessons right away, but we learn lessons over time of sitting in our mistakes. over time of wallowing in our own self-pity. And I think the time through that, mixed with the determination of wanting to put in a lot of effort, I think that yields very positive outcomes for one's life. And I'm speaking to that as someone who's been through it myself, been through very hard situations myself. I know many of you have out there. I continue to put effort in every day, try and do a little bit better. And when urges to fuck up or mess around or just do something I generally shouldn't be, whenever those feelings come about, it's a lot easier to handle them when you realize it's just a feeling and all feelings pass. So while you might be jonesing super hard to do something unhealthy or anything like that, if you realize that feeling, that urge, it's going to probably fade away within a half hour to an hour. Is that really that much time to white knuckle it through life and, buckle down and not succumb to temptation? It's 30 minutes, man. It's not that hard to do. So it helps to look at it a little bit that way, and that way you're able to make better choices. At least the forethought is how those choices can impede you in a bad way, the bad choices. So it helps to look at things from this paradigm. That way you're thinking more about how things are going to affect you later than how they would feel in the moment. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Going inside, I'm going to eat breakfast and get ready for work.